Hey y'all, and welcome back to another video on today. And how y'all doing? So let me tell you, it's about some new changes that's going to be happening to my channel because those that don't know, I also have a podcast that is called The Sweet Life of Home. And so this is my podcast as well as my video podcast. It's always good to have changes and just evolve to, a new phase in your business. So I decided to do a podcast and a video podcast all at the same time. So what you hear right now on the podcast, it is also on my YouTube channel as well. So we're lifing over here. So I'm in my bedroom right now. I promise I will have a little bit more aesthetically pleasing podcast. But I wanted to get this podcast and video cast out before this week is out because I've been putting off. And I was like, Lord, it's time. So let me just go ahead and do it. So please excuse the background that I got going on. It will be better, I promise. But we're lifing. My son is home with me today. He had a back cough. And so I was just like, let me just get back in mommy mode and housewife mode. And so I've been cleaning up and stuff like that. So my house, is got a lot of background noise going on. So I do apologize. You hear my dryer going or what have you, but that's neither here nor there. Um, I still want to get this out. So, first of all, how are you all doing today? Are y'all having a great day? How's life treating you? Um, Anything exciting happen? We had went to Greenville, South Carolina. Beautiful city, beautiful city. We went to the Fall for Greenville, and we had a great time. But all in all, how y'all doing? Y'all doing well? Y'all doing okay? Life is life in you too. Are you enjoying the fall weather? I'm here in Georgia, and we get fall weather, but it's not like my northern brother and sisters. We still in the 80s here, so yeah. I'm not getting the full fall. I get fall early in the morning, and then by 12 o'clock, it's back summer. So fall is in the morning, and then afternoon and evening is summertime. So I take it where I can take it. Okay, I can take it where I can take it. But on today podcast and video, um, I am going to be talking about reclaiming your title because you're more than just a mom, you're more than just a wife. It's more to you than those two roles. And oftentimes we peg ourselves in that role because we've been that for so long. When I introduce myself, I always give my first name and I always say I'm a wife and a mother. And I realized that one day when somebody had asked about me, and I said, well, my name is Chandra, and I'm a wife and a mom. And I was just like, you do that all the time. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a habit that I do. And I sat down to write out things that I was besides a wife and a mom. And y'all, let me tell you something. It was really hard. it was it was really hard because I've done this role for so long. It's like second nature for me. I enjoy being a wife and a mom. There are some days I'm like, Lord, why am I a wife and a mom? But majority of the days I enjoy being a wife and a mom because this is something that I asked God for, that I prayed for, and that I acknowledged that it was something that I wanted to be and stop just denying it. Because during back in my time, it was just like, I'm a single woman, hear me roar, I don't need no man. And then at the end of the day, I realized that no, I like being a single woman and I need a man and I want to be a wife and a mom. So here I am. But I still wanted to define my role because believe it or not, sooner or later, we're all going to be empty nesters and we're going to get to the phase of like, okay, where's for me to do? Because I've been a wife and a mom for so long and I've neglected myself for so long that what is there left for me to do? Um, and I'm of age where majority of my friends and high school friends are in grandparents mode. And I'm not. I'm still a wife and a mom with children. I have a 15-year-old and I have a 10-year-old. So I'm in that phase, and they're in the phase of having grandbabies. So they're already empty nesters. But I'm on my almost there with my two kids. And so I sat down and I wrote some things about how to define myself as far as who I am. And the first thing that I wrote down is, who are you outside of being a wife and a mom? Like, who do you think you are? What role do you play in people's lives that is not in your household? And the first thing that I realized that I play a role is that I always love to make people smile and bring them up when they're having a bad day. I know depression. I know depression very well. I've been in depression. I still fight depression now. And I know how it feels to be sad all the time and you just don't know why when God has blessed you with a lot of things, but you're still not happy. And I am one of those kind of people. I like to make people smile. I like to be that ear that you can come to. I like to be that personal diary for people. So whatever you tell me, it stays with me. It does not go anywhere. And give you some advice that may help you along the way, even if it hurts. I still want to help you along the way. And that's the role that I know that I am. I'm a prayer warrior. I will pray, honey. Honey, I will pray like it's nobody business. And and I pray daily. I pray a lot. I pray around my house. I pray when I'm driving in the car. I pray when I'm at work. I am just a natural prayer warrior. And that's just the call that God has given me. I don't deny that call now. It's just what I am. And it took a while for me to realize who I am besides being a wife and a mom. And once I figured that out, that I am more than just a wife and a mom, and that though I'm that person, um, it helped me. The second thing that I realized is that, and I say this all the time, but it's hard to do, and I'm working on it, is having self care. Times are hard. There's a lot of things that are expensive. Getting your nails done every week is expensive. Getting your feet done every week is expensive. Getting your hair done. Y'all see, I got mine just pulled back, right? That is expensive, but we got to squeeze in some self care time. And I'm going to tell you how you can squeeze in little self care time that is very inexpensive, doesn't take a whole lot of money or what have you. If you have older kids, like I said, my daughter is 15, and if I had to go to the grocery store, I was like, can you watch your brother, who is 9? Oh, I'm sorry, who is 10, while I run into the grocery store? And I would go to the grocery store like Kroger or Walmart, and I would just sit in the car for like about 5 or 10 minutes just to relax. 10 minutes, y'all, and I'm telling you, it works wonder. I don't do no scrolling on social media. I just sit in my car. I just literally just sit in my car, just listen to the noise of people, and just sit in my car and just relax. I find small ways to do self care, small ways. I get an hour lunch at work, and I would just sit in my car at lunch and just sit there, take a nap, listen to podcasts, whatever I got to do to just get my time in, to be just one with myself. That's what I get a lot of my prayer time in. And that's what I do. That's what I do. So find self-care time, even if it's small burst of moments. Get a lot of self-care in, because you'll be amazed how much that will relax you, how that little jolt of self-care would just, get you revived to move on forward for the rest of your day. So that's the second thing. Get self-care in. However you can get it in, and just do it. It's so important. It's so important to do. The third thing, how I refine myself besides being a mom and a mother, is going into prayer and say, God, who did you shape me to be? outside of a mom and a wife? Like, what is my role? Because I know my role in discipleship of my children and being a helpmeet to my husband. But outside of those two people, what is your calling for me for the people of this world, people of this nation? Um, I have been on a journey of praying for God people. Just because the way this nation and world is going, we need it. And I guess I realize what my role is. It's hard to walk in a calling that God has called you to do because you don't feel like you meet the qualification of the calling that God called you. You remember Moses? Yeah. And sometime, and I can be a witness to myself, the role or the call that God has given me, I felt like that I wasn't good enough. I don't have the look of everybody. I have crooked teeth, I have a chipped tooth here. I'm middle aged. And I just felt like this is no God, I don't think this is it. And when I tried other things, it would fail, and God would bring me right back here on this channel and on my podcast and said, "This is what I called you to do." And it's hard because you want to do the will of God, but your nerve and your anxiety and your fear will overtake you. And God is not the spirit of fear, but the enemy will put it on you, and you will let that fear outweigh the call that God is giving you. So go into prayer and ask God, what is your call for me? And you'll be amazed at what he say. And I can tell you, it may be something fearful. It takes a lot for me to do this because I'm an introvert. Um, Even though I work in a public setting, I am an introvert. I can just be by myself all day and it would not bother me at all. I yearn to be home. So when God tell me to put myself out here and to talk to people and to give words of advice or encouragement, I just be like, oh God, let me get my mind wrapped around this. So go into prayer and ask God, what is your call for me outside of a wife and a mom? Because, like I said, your role as a wife and a mom will never change. My mom is 71 years old, and I still call her for advice. Her role of a mom and a wife, it never changes. And it's the same thing, it'll never change. But outside of that call, what is your purpose for God's people in this nation? So I wanted to come on here to encourage you, Mama, that you're doing a great job of being a mom. You're doing a great job of being a wife, and the areas that you need to grow up in, you will grow up in it. I promise you, you will. But what is your role? What is your calling outside of being a wife and a mom? Now I know my voice didn't change, y'all. We're going through this allergy thing, so I'm sorry. But what is your role? And when you can define that and figure that out, honey, your life would be a whole lot better. It'll be a whole lot better. So I'm not going to keep you all any longer because I don't want the video to be too long and my podcast to be too long. But if you enjoy this video and this podcast, please like, subscribe, and share with others. Comment below. I would love to hear from you all. But until then, y'all, I hope y'all have a great and lovely week. And as always, thanks so much for coming by. Bye.